Imagine standing in the middle of a vast, open field. In every direction, people are walking. Thousands of them. They move in long lines that stretch far beyond the horizon. Everyone is heading somewhere. Everyone appears busy. Everyone seems certain that the direction they are walking is correct. And if you stop one of them and ask a simple question, "Why are you walking this way?" most of them will give the same answer. Because this is the way everyone goes. They point ahead. Someone else points even further. Eventually, if you keep asking, you discover something strange. No one actually knows who chose the direction. No one remembers where the path began. Yet the crowd continues moving forward with complete confidence. Because in the mind of the herd, numbers equal safety. If thousands of people are walking in the same direction, the mind concludes that the path must be right. But according to Vadim Zeland's transurfing teachings, this feeling of safety is not protection. It is something else entirely. It is an illusion that keeps people moving automatically through life, not consciously choosing their path, not questioning the script they follow, but simply repeating the movement of the crowd. And once you begin to see this pattern clearly, a disturbing realization appears. The herd was never protecting you. The herd was simply making sure that you never stopped to choose your own direction. According to transurfing, life operates much like a dream. Most people move through their days automatically. They wake up. They follow routines. They repeat behaviors. They pursue goals that seem natural and obvious. But rarely do they stop to ask a crucial question. Why do I want the things I want? Where did those desires come from? Why do millions of people suddenly want the same lifestyle, the same career, the same symbols of success? Why do entire societies begin chasing identical dreams? This phenomenon is not random. In transurfing, it is explained through the concept of pendulums. Pendulums are energetic structures formed by collective attention. Whenever large numbers of people focus on the same idea, emotion, or ideology, a pendulum begins to form. Political systems, cultural movements, social trends, economic beliefs, even entire nations can function as pendulums. Once a pendulum exists, it begins behaving like a living system. It needs energy, and the energy it feeds on is human attention. Every thought, every emotional reaction, every passionate debate, all of it fuels the pendulum. But pendulums have a problem. In order to survive, they need synchronization. They need people to think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, move in the same direction. Because when people synchronize, their combined energy becomes powerful. That is why pendulums constantly encourage conformity. They whisper subtle messages into society. Everyone is doing this. This is normal. This is the right way to live. And most people never realize that these ideas did not originate from their own soul. They were simply absorbed from the collective field. If the herd is an illusion, why does it feel so comfortable? The answer lies deep inside the human nervous system. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a tribe. To be isolated from the group was dangerous. Isolation meant fewer resources, fewer allies, and a greater chance of death. So evolution programmed the human mind with a simple rule: stay with the group, follow the tribe, trust collective behavior. This instinct once served humanity well, but in modern society, the same instinct is easily exploited. The mind sees large groups behaving in the same way and automatically assumes safety. If everyone is following a certain career path, it must be the correct path. If everyone believes a particular idea, it must be the correct belief. But transurfing reveals something surprising. The herd rarely moves because it knows the correct direction. The herd moves because no one dares to stop and question the movement. And the moment someone does stop, the crowd reacts with discomfort, because questioning the herd introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty threatens the illusion of safety. So society quickly discourages independent thinking, not necessarily through force, but through subtle pressure, social disapproval, ridicule, isolation. The message becomes clear. Do not stand apart. Stay with the herd. One of the most powerful insights in transurfing is the concept of borrowed goals. A borrowed goal is a desire that does not originate from your soul. It originates from the herd. For example, a person may believe they want prestige, but what they truly want is approval. Another person may believe they want wealth, but in reality, they want recognition or validation. Another may believe they want a specific lifestyle, but that image was simply implanted by society. When a person pursues borrowed goals, something unusual happens. They work hard, they invest years of effort, they sacrifice time, energy, and personal freedom, and eventually, they may even achieve the goal they were chasing. But instead of satisfaction, they feel empty, because their soul was never interested in that goal to begin with. The mind pushed forward, but the soul remained silent. And when the soul is silent, the path feels heavy. Every step feels forced. Every achievement feels strangely hollow. Yet the herd continues, shouting encouragement. Keep going. Work harder. Everyone else is doing it. So the person continues chasing a dream that was never truly theirs. Modern society has created incredibly sophisticated systems for synchronizing human behavior. Education systems train individuals to follow predefined paths. Students are taught what success should look like, what careers are respectable, what achievements deserve admiration. Social media amplifies comparison. People constantly measure themselves against the lives of others. Trends spread rapidly through networks of attention. Entire generations begin pursuing identical lifestyles. Meanwhile, media and advertising continuously project images of what a successful life should look like. Luxury, recognition, status, visibility. The result is a powerful feedback loop. People observe the behavior of others. They imitate it. That imitation strengthens the herd pattern. And the stronger the herd pattern becomes, the harder it feels to step outside of it. But from the perspective of transurfing, this entire system is simply a large pendulum structure, a system that survives by keeping people synchronized, not because anyone consciously designed it, but because collective systems naturally evolve toward self-preservation. And the easiest way to preserve a system is to ensure that individuals never question its direction. At some point in a person's life, something unusual may happen. They begin noticing patterns. They observe how quickly people become emotionally involved in public conflicts, how easily crowds adopt opinions, how rapidly new trends spread through society. They start seeing how attention is constantly being pulled from one issue to another. One day, it is political outrage. Another day, it is cultural debate. Another day, it is fear about the future. Every topic generates emotional reactions. Every reaction feeds the pendulum. And gradually, a realization emerges. Most people are not acting consciously. They are reacting automatically. This realization marks the beginning of awakening. In transurfing, this state is called waking up in the dream of reality. Just like in a nighttime dream, the dream character usually believes everything happening around them is real. But occasionally, the dreamer becomes aware. They realize they are inside a dream. The moment that awareness appears, something changes. The dream no longer controls them completely. They can observe it. They can navigate it. The same thing happens in waking life. When a person begins observing pendulums instead of reacting to them, they step outside the automatic flow of the herd. Pendulums operate through attention. They do not need agreement. They only need engagement. This is why emotional triggers are so effective. Fear, anger, outrage, pride, excitement. Any strong emotion increases attention, and increased attention strengthens the pendulum. This is why public debates often become extremely polarized. Two opposing groups argue passionately. Each side believes they are fighting against the other. But in reality, both sides are feeding the same pendulum. The pendulum grows stronger as the conflict intensifies. Meanwhile, individuals become increasingly trapped in emotional reactions. Their attention becomes locked into the pendulum's rhythm, and once attention is captured, independent thinking becomes difficult. The person begins responding automatically to the emotional waves of the collective field. When someone discovers these mechanisms, their first instinct may be to fight the system. But transurfing warns that this reaction is ineffective. Fighting a pendulum strengthens it, because the pendulum receives energy from both supporters and opponents. Instead of fighting, transurfing suggests a different approach. Observation without emotional involvement. Indifference. When you observe a pendulum but refuse to react emotionally, you stop feeding it. Your attention remains neutral. Your energy remains your own. Gradually, the pendulum loses influence over you. It continues swinging around you, but it cannot hook into your awareness. This state is sometimes described as becoming invisible to pendulums. You still live within society. You still interact with systems, but you are no longer controlled by their emotional currents. Once a person steps outside the herd mentality, a new question appears. If I am not following the crowd, where should I go? Transurfing offers a simple but profound answer. Follow what resonates with your soul. Your soul communicates through feelings of lightness and inspiration. When a direction aligns with your true nature, it feels natural. It generates curiosity. It produces energy rather than draining it. When the mind and soul move together, life begins to unfold differently. Opportunities appear unexpectedly. Connections form naturally. Events begin aligning with your intentions. This is because the person has aligned with their natural lifeline in the space of variations. Instead of forcing reality through struggle, they move along a path that already exists in the field of possibilities. Despite these insights, most people remain inside the herd. Why? Because the herd offers psychological comfort, predictability, social approval, identity. Leaving the herd introduces uncertainty. It requires thinking independently. It requires trusting internal guidance rather than external validation. For many people, this uncertainty feels more frightening than the limitations of conformity, so they remain within the familiar patterns of the crowd. Even when those patterns lead to dissatisfaction, the herd promises safety. But safety inside the herd comes with a price. The price is individuality. The price is freedom. The price is the possibility of discovering your own path. Transurfing does not suggest abandoning society. It suggests something more subtle. Remain in the world, but stop moving unconsciously with the crowd. Observe. Choose deliberately. Direct your attention consciously, because the moment you begin doing that, you stop being a puppet of pendulums. You stop being part of the herd. You become something far more powerful, a conscious participant in reality. And when that happens, the direction of your life is no longer determined by the crowd. It is determined by you. Observe pendulums. Release borrowed goals. Refuse automatic reactions. Follow soul resonance. Choose your own line in reality.